Phuwin has been looking at Pond all evening with a hunger he can barely hide. A soft but intense longing sitting right behind his eyes every time their gazes meet. And even when he tries to look away for the sake of the fans and the cameras, his attention drifts back to Pond like his heart knows exactly where it belongs and refuses to pretend otherwise. He wants him badly, in a way that feels warm in his chest and heavy in his stomach. That kind of wanting that makes him feel breathless just from watching Pond smile at someone else. And he knows he shouldn't be this obvious, not here, not in front of fans, not when the lights are bright and every single phone is recording. But no matter how hard he tries, he can't calm the restless need building inside him. He wanted to kiss Pond so many times during the event that he lost count. Wanted to pull him close every time Pond leaned in to whisper something or laughed too sweetly or placed a hand on his shoulder in that casual way that always feels anything but casual to him. Because Pond has no idea the effect he has, no idea how those small touches leave sparks running under Phuwin's skin, making him crave things he shouldn't be craving in public. The entire time they were on stage, Phuwin felt like he was fighting a losing battle, trying to keep his expression neutral while every part of him was screaming to get closer, to touch him more, to slip his fingers into Pond's hand and not let go. By the middle of the event, when they touched shoulders for a photo, a wave of heat shot straight through him, and he had to bite the inside of his cheek because for a split second he felt that overwhelming pull to just turn his head and kiss. Pond right there, not even caring about the fans screaming, not even caring about anyone's reaction, and it scared him how strong the urge was. He swallowed it down, buried it deep, forced himself to smile and wave like everything was fine. But the tension coiled in his chest only grew tighter and heavier as the night went on. So he told himself quietly, wait. Just wait until the event is over, when it's just the two of you. When no one is looking. You can have him then. That promise became the only thing keeping him sane. The only thing stopping him from doing something reckless. The thought of being alone with Pond after all this noise, all this pretending, felt like an anchor pulling him through the evening, because he knew once the doors closed and the fans left, Pond would be his just for a moment, just long enough for him to breathe again. And when the event finally ended, when they walked backstage together and the lights dimmed and the noise faded, the tension between them grew heavier, more real. Phuwin kept glancing at Pond out of the corner of his eye, feeling his heartbeat speed up every time their shoulders brushed. And he could tell Pond sensed something was different because Pond kept giving him those small, soft, questioning looks, the ones that always made Phuwin feel exposed but understood at the same time. But Phuwin couldn't say anything yet. His throat felt tight, and the words were stuck behind the rush of desire he had been holding back all day. They walked to the car together, and the moment the vehicle door closed behind them, Phuwin felt the world shift. Like the silence around them carried permission he didn't have before. The tinted windows, the dim streetlights outside, the distance from the public, it all created a cocoon around them. And his heartbeat pounded in his ears as Pond turned to him with that soft smile he always gives when he thinks no one else is watching. That smile. God's smile was what finally broke him. Phuwin let out a slow, shaky breath he didn't realize he'd been holding and stared at Pond, unable to look away. Unable to pretend anymore. Pond's eyebrows lifted slightly in confusion, his lips parting a little as he leaned closer, and that tiny movement alone was enough to make Phuwin's resolve snap like a thread stretched too far. He reached out gently, almost hesitantly, as if giving Pond one last chance to pull away, but Pond didn't move. He stayed right there, close enough that Phuwin could feel his breath ghosting across his skin, warm and soft and inviting. Then it happened. Phuwin kissed him. Soft at first, like he was testing the moment, testing his own courage, pressing his lips against Pond's in a careful, trembling way that carried every bit of longing he had been holding in all evening. But the moment their lips touched, something inside him melted, and he realized how desperately he had needed this, how much his heart had been aching for it. His hand slid to the side of Pond's neck without him even thinking, holding him gently, pulling him a little closer, deepening the kiss in a slow, warm, breath-stealing way that made his entire body feel lighter and heavier at the same time. Pond didn't freeze or pull away. Instead, He let out the softest, barely there sigh against Phuwin's mouth. A sound so small yet so full of emotion that it made Phuwin's chest tighten. Pond's fingers found their way to his arm, gripping lightly, as if anchoring himself, and Phuwin felt the world tilt in the sweetest way. It wasn't a rushed kiss. Not wild or frantic, it was slow, lingering, full of emotion and warmth and all the things they never say out loud but feel so intensely. When they finally pulled back, just by a few centimeters, their breaths mingled in the space between them. And Phuwin felt dizzy, overwhelmed and so impossibly full of affection, he didn't know what to do with it. Pond's eyes were half-lidded, soft and warm, and for a moment neither of them spoke. They just stared at each other, breathing quietly, letting the closeness settle around them like a secret they weren't ready to let go of. Phuwin swallowed, his voice quiet and unsteady when he finally whispered, "I've wanted to do that all night." His confession hung in the air, vulnerable and real, and Pond blinked slowly, his lips still parted from the kiss, before he moved closer again until their foreheads touched. Pond whispered back, "Then do it again." And Phuwin did. Phuwin kissed him again, deeper this time, like he was done holding anything back. Like all the restraint he'd forced himself to keep during the event finally snapped and left him with nothing but honesty and want. Pond responded with a soft inhale, his fingers curling gently into the fabric of Phuwin's sleeve as if steadying himself. And their lips moved together in a slow rhythm that felt more like a confession than anything they could ever say out loud. Every breath, every small sound, every tiny movement between them carried the weight of all the moments they had ignored. All the feelings they had swallowed for the sake of work, timing, and the eyes of the world. When they finally pulled apart again, still close, still breathing each in, Pond looked at him with an expression Phuwin couldn't fully read, but instantly felt in his chest. It was a mixture of surprise, warmth, and something tender that made Phuwin's heart stutter. Pond's thumb brushed lightly against the back of his hand, a soft, almost shy gesture, even though there was nothing shy about the way he had leaned into the kiss. "You really couldn't wait, Pond murmured with a quiet smile, his voice low and warm, the type of tone he only ever used when they were alone. Phuwin let out a breathless laugh, his cheeks warm, his heart still racing. "I waited the whole night," he admitted, voice softer than he intended. "Longer than I wanted to." Pond's eyes softened even more, and he shifted closer until their knees touched. "Then I'm glad you didn't wait any longer." The tension in the air changed, then still warm, still intimate, but now filled with something calmer, sweeter, like the quiet glow after a storm. They stayed close, not rushing anything, letting the silence wrap around them comfortably as the car gently vibrated with the low hum of the engine.